it. But at a very core level, what SEO is it's optimizing your website for the user experience and the user query. So Google literally is just this big database. Think of it as a library. You walk into the library, you type in a topic that you're interested in, and you get a book from the shelf. Same deal. You go to Google, you type in your query, Google is the library, and it pulls a book for you, a website from the shelf, and hands it to you, and then you read it. In a nutshell, like in a very simplified way. On top of all that, there's like 200 and something ranking factors that, because there's so many books in the Google library, i.e. websites, that it has to have a way to put them in an order that they're useful, they give a good user experience. Like there's a myriad of ranking factors, and there's like 200 of them, and you can never reach all of them, but you tick off the ones that are easiest and the ones that are more effective for your website, your business. Now, when you type that query in, Google just goes through and picks which one's more effective. And the only way it can do that is by the words on the page, of your website. Same deal as a book. Look at your home page, you'll see your main navigation. So all those pages, they're all visible to your user. A hidden page is not actually hidden, it's probably the wrong term, it's more like a landing page. So say if someone typed in, and it's really good for location and service-based businesses, because say if someone typed in wedding venue and suburb, wedding venue, Melbourne. What you would do is you would have a page that has your URL / wedding venue Melbourne. And then you would write on that page the really heavy content. So it's not going to be as romantic. It's not going to be as, like, the photo flow might not be the same as what you would have on your homepage. And what you do with that is you use the locality. So you use, beautiful photos of what's near you, where they can stay, talk about other venues. For wedding venues, it would be if they didn't have accommodation, it would talk about accommodation. It would talk about how far you are from other attractions for your guests. It would go into a really keyword rich content form that also targets a suburb or a surrounding area. And what that does is when someone types, so it's crawlable by Google, so Google can see that, but your customers can't see that on your main website. They need to type something into Google to pull up the location. So if they typed into Google, wedding venue in the mountains, Melbourne. Does Melbourne even have any mountains? Wedding venue, Melbourne, near tramline. If they wanted something like that, and you had targeted that, let's say, and this goes back again, so now we're going to jump right back to the very core values of SEO, keywords. They are like queen of everything. If you don't have the right keywords, it doesn't matter what people type in. If you're not typing the correct keywords, you will never match up with that person. Before you even go into SEO, you really need to know your customer. You really need to know your niche and what you're targeting in your customer. So unless you can really narrow that down, the keyword research becomes really broad and you're competing. Like wedding is a huge competition word, like huge. Wedding venue, I'm sure, I didn't check it, but I'm sure it'd be up in like the thousands, like even the tens of thousands and up for search traffic. Even in Australia, this is not discounting the rest of the world. You don't nail what you offer as a business, because there's 1,000 wedding venues out there. What makes you different? What makes your business stand out from everybody else? And that's where I refer to wedding venue outside. That might be your point of difference. So you need to talk to your point of difference, because if you don't, when people are typing in those search queries, you become one of 10,000, and you don't want to be one of 10,000. You want to be one of, like, to get on that front page is a really tricky thing for wedding venues. And so you've got to be really smart about how you target that customer. So knowing their intent, first of all, and so obviously customer intent is a huge thing. Where are they at in their cycle? Are they at just searching? Are they investigating? Are they ready to buy? Are they a hot? Are they a cold lead? You need to have, for your customer intent, you then need to break that down into keywords. So your hot keywords, obviously, for someone who's ready to buy, like a hot lead, warm lead, they will be saying buy now, book now, those sorts of words. And so you would add them onto your specific keywords that you've gotten for your specific target. There's so much in it, and I guess people go, oh, I can do keyword research. And then when they do it, and then I always tell my clients to do their own keyword research. I said, and you bring me back 25 keywords that you think are important. And it's easy to Google and find things these days, like on any topic. But it's even for me, like I don't even sometimes know what my clients will be typing in. Like, do you want an SEO agency? Like, are you typing in, do you know the difference between technical SEO and on-page and off-page SEO? People have such a varied knowledge of any industry. So knowing where they're at and what they will be typing in, good little homework for your people to go away and write down their top 25 keywords that they think are representative of their business. And they need to, before they do that, they need to just take a step back and they need to do a customer persona. So, you know, age, demographic, how much money they have to spend, where do they hang out on social media, how do they search for things, are they buying straight away, do they look for reviews first, like all those, that really nitty gritty of who your customer is. And then your business, what makes it different? What's your unique selling point? What makes you different from 10,000 other wedding venues? There's got to be something that sets you apart. There's got to be something that pulls that customer you want in. And I feel like sometimes business owners don't like doing that because they feel like that's narrowing their market down. But at the end of the day, if you're one of only 5 wedding venues that has an outdoor wedding area, then you are only going to get the customers that want to book with you. So they're getting warmer and warmer and warmer. Whereas if you just put, I'm a wedding venue, beautiful wedding venue in the mountains, and you get 50 people that are like, oh, I like it, I don't like it, I'm not ready, I don't know if I'm ready to book. You'll either get 50 that are unsure, and how many of those convert, or you get 5 of them that are like, we want our wedding venue outdoors in the mountains and we're ready to book. You just have to sell me that you're the best person for the job. Search engine optimization is such a holistic view because it pulls in marketing, it pulls in your website, it pulls in knowing your customer base, it pulls in all these other things to get it moving. It's not just like the technical part of it, it's a whole other, we won't even go into that today because there's a whole other technical part that goes into the back end of your website. And I think specifically for the wedding industry, it's such a competitive niche. It is one of the most competitive niches. And like if you were, you know, like if you were the butcher down the road, I could probably rank you a lot faster and a lot easier than I can with a wedding venue because your competition is through the roof. So you really need to be tactical in how you get yourself onto Google and for what you're getting yourself on there. Because there's no point in getting yourself on there as a wedding venue on page 7. No one looks at page 7. And it's just a wedding venue. You're not specific to anybody's needs. So you've got to be really, really niche down, specific. So drive that hot customer, warm customer. I always say hot, I don't know why. Instead of 50, you had some pretty photos. I have a really good representation of a client who I work with and I do his SEO and I've worked with him for a while now. I've got a few wedding photographers and he's a brilliant example of, and his name's Barefoot and Bearded, that's his website. And I challenge everyone to just go and have a look because I tell you what, you either love him or you hate him as soon as you click on his front page. His front page narrows down the tire kickers like that. And the reason why is because his headline on his page is fuck traditions. He just swore, oh my God, that's too full on for me. I look at his analytics a lot and you see there's people that will flow through and they'll have a look at what he does and see what his photos are like. But he has a vibe. He has a vibe that you either want or you do not want. And his content is very much his personality. It's very blunt. It's very, he's very opinionated and you instantly think, oh, could I work with him? You're instantly either drawn in or you're turned away. And again, I think that big businesses and businesses that are more than just one person, so he's able to do that because he's a sole trader, but businesses who rely on a bigger audience are scared to do it, are scared to narrow it down that much because I feel like they potentially think maybe that 1 in 50 that I shouldn't get might just come across, and is it worth it? I think a really good thing for wedding venues, and a lot of people don't like doing this because no one likes to talk about money. No one likes to talk about money ever. We don't want to know how much people make. We don't want to know how much things cost. Another thing that will really narrow down your audience is putting out your packages for the world to see. And I know that's super scary for businesses because they're like, oh, well, Joe Blow down the road might copy, might do the same thing. They know what value they're getting. My suggestion to all my business owners is say packages starting from, because do you know what? There's going to be, out of that 50, maybe 10 of those people will say, I can't afford that. So there you've lost 10 already. So now we're down to 40. If you've got a specific personality type, you might have lost another 5. So now we're down to 35. This is getting you down to your warm leads that want what you have to offer. They want indoors. They don't want an outdoor wedding. Okay, we've lost another 15. You had, say, 50 couples coming through and you had 50 venues and 10 of those had packages, that you would see more traction to the 10 than you would the other 40. Because they don't have to, they've already connected because they know how much it's going to cost. They know what they're getting. They then can send an inquiry and have the tour. So they do the tour, they already know. If they don't know, then they've got to go do the tour. They've got to find extra stuff out. It's more work for a couple. It's a big way to weed out customers that can't afford it. It's not in their budget. They want more in that package. They don't feel like they're getting enough. And then if the business owner in the venue is saying, well, am I offering enough? Like that's you. That's something you need to sit down and you need to research. You need to do a local market analysis and see what everybody else is offering. That's when it sort of comes down to the business themselves. They need to do the hard work and say, okay, you know, I'm not giving as much value as XYZ down the road. Can you afford to give more value? Is there more value that you can give at a lower cost to you initially? I'm going to give you a few quick things. So, and I haven't explained them, but they are things that you should be checking straight away. So let's just start with, they're going to walk away today and do their top 25 keywords they as a venue owner think are important. They're going to know their customer and they're going to know where they're at in the buying on their website. So when they look at their website, you want the homepage to give a clear call to action. Wherever you direct them to after that, you want it to be simple. So I don't want a form that is any more long-winded than it has to be. Then I want them to check that they are running HTTPS, so secure websites, instead of HTTP. You never used to have to do that unless you were selling things or had, credit card stuff. Now, security-wise, Google is enforcing that as a ranking factor. If you don't have it, it'll actually come up now with this huge, big warning that says not secure. So that's one easy one to check. And if you don't have that, then you need to install an SSL certificate onto your website. You can get different varying layers of those at different costs. Again, this is a bit technical, but it's a really important one. Having your Google My Business completed really well. Utilize location for your Google My Business. So make sure on your Google My Business you have lots of photos, and yes, you can have some photoshopped photographer photos, but get out with your camera and do a good old panoramic because people will be able to see exactly what it looks like. Make sure you are targeting all your service areas in your Google My Business. So all the surrounds of don't go past about 30 kilometers because obviously it's unrealistic. I would be getting in there and doing all your categories and listing all your subcategories. So if you're a wedding venue that supplies teepees, fire pits, really go in depth about what you offer that would be different to the next and list all that on your Google My Business. Get your team on there with happy, smiling photos and talk about their skills and their expertise. Google My Business is a really easy, free one that I feel that is so undervalued and overlooked. And I would say to your venues that that's their best chance without having the technical side, without employing someone to do SEO for them on their websites, is the easiest way to get them ranked in the Google search results, because Google obviously favors Google My Business. That's why it's there.